1350, what we know as the idyllic French countryside was a living hell. For more than 15 years, the people had suffered at the hands of English invaders. Little did they know that this war would last for another 100 years. But through this crucible of fighting, famine and plague, there would emerge the modern nation of France. England's King Edward III looked jealously across the English Channel. Wanting France for his own, he had added the fleur-de-lis, the symbol of France, to his own royal standard. This was an all-out declaration of war. And in 1337, he invaded. But France already had a king, Philippe VI. As the English burned their way across the land, Philippe's army and his legendary knights marched to meet them, and came face to face with the English longbow. A simple weapon, but the most devastating the knights had ever faced. The heroes of France fell to storms of English arrows. The war engulfed the French countryside. By 1351, the conflict was focused on Brittany. One fight stands out as a spectacular display of chivalry, and a symbol of the wider conflict between the two enemy nations. The Combat of the 30 is still commemorated here in Brittany. It was a dispute between two local families, supported by the opposing sides in the war. The French and English commanders decided to settle it through a trial of knightly combat. Each side would choose 30 champions to fight on neutral ground. France prepared to defend itself against England's finest.
Now I can talk. I think it's pretty cool. Especially with this ratings system. It's a bit more advanced than in Formula 1, where you just drive and... What do you mean I turned that down?
Intent on ending the suffering of the French peasantry, Sir Jean de Beaumanoir sent a challenge to the English commander.
No, not very much.
30 champions on each side would compete in a tournament for final claim to Brittany. With the battleground of the halfway oak agreed upon, Sir Jean set out to gather support from local knights.
Only shadows. What else? Post-process effects, because that's useless anyway. I don't want any motion blur.
To protect the local peasantry and ensure peace.
Yeah, since my monitor is only 60 Hz, it's okay when I have 60 FPS max. But I had some drops in the Hungary ring. Yes. I think in the 4th corner or 5th corner.
Most medieval tournaments were friendly in nature, held for sport and glory, but the combat of the 30 was arranged between opponents mired in war. English raids had torn through the countryside of Brittany and brought great hardship to the people.
Except the S corner. I think it's fun too. And what I realize is that you can take every curb and don't have to be scared that you just spin out. At least with my settings and assists. Yeah, sure.
The French knights defeated the English raiders, and Sir Guy de Rochefort joined Sir Jean's party.
Apertisez votre courage, compagnon. Par votre service. Je suis votre serveuse. Si comme vos voldrez.
I mean, it's really like in Formula 1, you get some douchebag every time in every race. Doesn't matter what safety rating you got.
The knights would use the great speed of their war horses to charge the archers and overwhelm them.
Yeah, I mean, contact is normal. I mean, the one time I accidentally spun the one guy. I think he had a Porsche, and but I texted him sorry, and he said never mind. I mean, it was not on purpose or something. I just... Maybe he braked too early and I braked a little bit too late, and yeah. Just ran into him in the right in the corner. Yes, I immediately realized I could have gone much later. What's also cool is like you can fast steer into the corner when you're a bit too fast, and then you're just sliding around a bit and have a better outcome. Like they do in MotoGP when they drift around the corner to get the better apex.
Avertissez votre courage, compagnon.
Yes, that's true.
Avant, compagnon. Hors votre service. Retrayez vos amours.
Looking to secure his honor, a young knight held his ground on a bridge in Sir Jean's path.
No, I have not.
Honorably conceding defeat in the duel, Sir Yves Charel joined the cause.
Si fez vos commandements. Mectons nos en l'avoué. Let's vote stonk en avoué. Reniez vos armes.
Sir Jean entered the staging area for the tournament, where he prepared to choose which knights would join him in battle.
Mon arway maigne avec moi.
Each knight would be accompanied by his squires, young nobles in training to become knights themselves.
Bien, comme vos placed.
Sir Jean had selected his champions. As the sun rose, the two sides entered the arena, ready for the first round of combat.
Quel est de votre plaisir? Page! Page commandement! J'obtempère!
Correct, lancière! En ordre! Vos passes, compagnon!
Gensdarm! Nos de guerpison!
Obéir en desdictus.
Envoué donc!
Lancière, en ordre!
Compagnie, j'obtempère! Fixes moi ma besoin!
Obéir continent.
Comme vos plaît! Vous avancez!
Donnez jury dans vos monnaies.
Oyez!
Okay.
Je puis vous obéir.
Poisson de vos commandements! Compagnon! Fixes moi ma besoin!
I haven't found anything yet. How to create a server.
Si comme vos voldrez.
With both sides bloodied and bruised, the fighters called for a break, allowing the champions respite to bandage their wounds.
Compagnie moult!
Compagnon, envoyé! Quick on grind!
Triple crown, what does that mean?
Chacune en sa place.
Lancière!
Compagnie.
Obéir. C'est mon arway maigne.
J'obtempère à Oxavit.
Access vos compagnon.
Refreshed and reinvigorated, the French knights returned to the arena for another round of combat. The combat of the 30 was about to decide which nation would control the Duchy of Brittany.
Je veux vos cœurs dans vos volets. Je suis votre serveuse.
Campagne, oyez. Et compresse.
Obéis, voir, Giride. Donnez-moi vos affiches. On a oui, mais avec moi. Pour votre service. Certes. C'est comme votre voldrez. Donnez-moi une continent. Si très tous vont mourir.
Compagnon, lance sur feu. Monte de jouer.
Je puis vous obéir.
Ah, okay. Age of Empires is pretty popular.
Triumphant, Sir Jean de Beaumanoir and his loyal knights claimed victory. The combat of the 30 had decided control of Brittany in favor of the French. Little did the two sides know,
Yes,
this was just the beginning
I'm
of a
playing the
bitter
campaign
war
of
that
Age
would
of Empires.
outlive them all.
Oh, I think this is a new video.
In 1350, what we know as the idyllic French countryside was a living hell. For more than 15 years, the people had suffered at the hands of English invaders. Little did they know that this war would last for another 100 years. But through this crucible of fighting, famine and plague, there would emerge the modern nation of France. England's King Edward III looked jealously across the English Channel. Wanting France for his own, he had added the fleur-de-lis, the symbol of France, to his own royal standard. This was an all-out declaration of war. And in 1337, he invaded. But France already had a king, Philippe VI. As the English burned their way across the land, Philippe's army and his legendary knights marched to meet them and came face to face with the English longbow. A simple weapon, but the most devastating the knights had ever faced. The heroes of France fell to storms of English arrows. The war engulfed the French countryside. By 1351, the conflict was focused on Brittany. One fight stands out as a spectacular display of chivalry and a symbol of the wider conflict between the two enemy nations.
Oh, you already seen this video.
The
I would go for a fanatic if I had the choice. I mean, you don't really need a rig. You still can go lower with the force feedback. But in general, a direct drive wheel is always better than anything else.
In the 100 Years' War, the English used a terror tactic, a raid through enemy territory intended to intimidate and provoke the French into battle. It was called chevauchée. The principal weapon for chevauchée was fire. And one of the ways it was delivered was with incendiary arrows.
Challenge with incendiary arrows? Keeping them alight.
One type of incendiary arrow was fueled with gunpowder.
We've got charcoal, got sulfur, and we've got saltpeter. Saltpeter is the main ingredient. The more oxygen you put into it, the hotter it burns. Of course, when it's on an arrow, when it's being shot, you've got a turbocharged airstream.
The chemicals are bound together with brandy, left to dry, and poured into a linen bag. The extra long arrowhead is inserted into the bag and then tied off to secure it. It is then sealed by dipping it into boiling tree resin. This resin, which itself is highly flammable, provides a waterproof casing. It also shields the burning gunpowder, so the wind doesn't put it out in flight.
Now that looks deadly, and I really want to shoot it.
The art to shooting an incendiary arrow is timing. Too early, and it will go out. Too late, it will spit at you like a dragon.
That was just evil. That was great.
The word chevauchée means horse raid, and it was mobile light horsemen who spearheaded the attacks. They took gold and silver from the churches, valuables from wealthy citizens, and as much food and drink as they could find from anyone. A chevauchée was scorched earth warfare to create discontent amongst the enemy's subjects, perhaps even to get them to turn against their king. An army on campaign needed a decisive battle, and a chevauchée was intended to taunt the enemy to come out and fight.
Jo.
After victory at the Combat of the 30, the French faced devastating raids from England's Black Prince. But France's King John II was closing in. Jean finally caught the English near the city of Poitiers in September 1356. The French army outnumbered the English by thousands. King Jean himself joined the fight, but what seemed a certain victory for France soon turned into a nightmare. The English longbow devastated the mighty French army. An endless hail of arrows gutted the main French force. Then the English captured King Jean. The fight was over. The Battle of Poitiers was another catastrophic defeat for the French. The English had destroyed most of France's nobility in a single day. Now they turned their attention towards taking the French capital, Paris. The invaders marched unopposed towards Paris. The remains of some of the medieval walls of Paris still stand today. As the English army approached, the terrified locals sought shelter behind these defenses. Could France's capital withstand the full might of the Black Prince's army?
Okay. Yeah, but 8 Newton meters is the weakest fanatic wheel, I guess. The small one? Or 6? 6 or 8? I think 6 without the expansion. Okay. The CSL DD has 8. And it's about 500 euros. Just the base, I mean. Oh no, 5. Okay, sorry. I didn't see that. But it's the same, just the 8 Newton meter one has an expansion or something. The boost kit, yeah. So it's just more energy for the engine. But when you get the podium wheel, how much force does it have? Is there any information about that? You can run about 20 Newton meters. And the 350T, what does that have? 5? 4? $300, sorry. Three to 4 Newton meters. Okay. Or you just directly go for the racing wheel podium for 1,800.
The English Black Prince had raided the French countryside without mercy. And now his army had come for the capital.
Oh yeah, I know that one.
With the English on their doorstep, it fell to the French army and the people of Paris to defend the walls of their proud city.
I think you could also attach that one to the Fanatic. Isn't
Hoping to avoid open
like
battle,
that?
the French began fortifying the city, manning the walls and calling every available soldier to his post.
Prepare for the English siege. Okay. Let's
As the French
prepare.
hastened their preparations, several detachments of English soldiers were spotted closing in on the city.
Cheval shot NC Swaity.
En besogne. Je vous amène mes riens. Secours! Petite! À votre commandement. Si, comme volets. Lors batige s'estu.
Die Chevalschaf sind Brest! Schottenberg à vos advices! Givouez de Cester! Unifolk que la vis!
Oh really? I'm sorry, my fucking bot.
The English showed no mercy, burning their way to Paris via 3 routes, each of which was home to villages and farms that supplied the capital.
Okay.
Je gagne mon gage.
Aveillez votre! Métier comme élément!
Oyez des ordonnances. Si vais exploiteurs. Pour vos servir.
Attendez les commandements, manans. Manans, si vais exploiter. Oyez les ordonnances. À votre commandement.
Accordé.
Besoin à faire.
Homme fa au train.
Manans, nous devons salaire. Lors batige s'estui. Ouida. Vayez-moi besoin. Long. Oh, si, comme volets. Puis reste ma toute vie.
That looks pretty crazy, that thing. Too many colors in my opinion.
En besoin. Besoin de guerre puissance, manans.
Que faut-il donc bien, veis. Giovali basti. Que faut-il donc besoigner?
Besoin à faire.
Hostia lores.
Yeah, I mean, everyone says that the T300 is pretty good. They are already attacking, oh my god. Do I have any other options here to build something? Not really. Which sucks.
À Aubelestier, à Pointe basse. Avant, à Aubelestier.
As the French continued to rally their army, the English took the last of the surrounding villages and had almost encircled Paris.
Baieți mue bezueni.
Encore éloigner la Suisse.
Ardu besoigne en grande terre.
Presse portrait. Reste pour la besoigne, Manance. Mest qui reste en Jambert. Manance, ouvrons donc. Baillets moi besoin. Attendez les commandements, Manance. Appareillement en train.
With the countryside in flames and the English at the city gates, the French armies steeled themselves
Holy.
for battle. Now came the capital's true test, with the mighty walls of Paris hold against a fearsome English siege.
Manance, ouvrons donc. Manance.
The Parisian Guard raised the alarm as the English began their first assault on the city walls.
Manance. En commune. Bien. Chevalier Bastille.
No, go inside.
Archers. Mon arc est prest.
Oops.
Chasse monte de jouer, Jean-Star.
Why aren't they building?
Manance. Tous te y a Laurette. Que faute suis sans voué. Oh, me faut trahir.
Compagnon,
Archer! On déguerpit! Archer! Si est!
compagnon, Genstarms.
Nice, nice, nice.
Moult avance, voué après.
I need more. More. This is good. This is good. Oh.
Compagnon, venez-vous. Et chez les Spartans. Obéis au commandement. Archers!
Lance des Spartans, vraiment.
Archers! Prenez vos arcs.
Compagnon, prenons la bataille, compagnon. Die Genstarms, Voskier.
Again?
Archers! Les
Oh
commandements
shit.
Although the walls of Paris had been breached, the French could still hold the city, so long as its mighty landmarks did not fall.
Die Genstarms, envoué vers Snow.
Archers, en la voie. Besoigne. Reste pour la besoigne, Manance.
The French army fought valiantly, repelling the first English attack.
Anansi, comme volette! Lors battit se s'estuit! Giovanni Bastir! Dossier à l'oreille!
Archers!
Compagnon, Genstarms. Nos découps.
Archers! Archers! Les commandements viennent!
Chaskins and sa place.
Archers! Oyez ce commandement. Archers! Allons vraiment. J'obtempère. À Chespes, que ferai-je donc? Archers, vouer à Parmain.
Oh shit.
De demeurer, Spoenslats Tukoi.
Yep. Kann teuer werden.
Legion Sifez vos comme...
Archers, venez-vous, ennemis des Spartans. Enjamber, Wayne la fosse.
Attendez, Manance, nous devons le palais.
Aubelestre, Achetsmetsvos.
Compagnon!
Je gagne mon game.
Manance, allons, Manance. Reste pour la besogne, Manance. Messieurs, reste en jambeur. Manance,
Archers, de demeurer, Spoenslats Tukoi.
Manance, en plus.
Compagnon! Reste pour la besogne! Well, est de votre
Chascune.
Aubelestier, à pointe de bas.
Attendez les commandements, Manance. Tous à l'oreille.
Chasse... Oyez! Envouez vers notre port!
Ici, les commandements. Achesmet nos des Spartans. Archers, prenez job temper. Archers, on the ground.
Compagnon! Mectons!
Oh, me fa au trail. Besogne nos attentes.
Compagnon! Reste pour la besogne! Chaskins! Moult avance, fouet à trait! Ati!
Manance, la moi exploité. Manance, allons, Manance. Manance, nos devons aller.
Je suis sanguiné.
Attendez, nos devons nos solaires. Besogne nos attentes. Allons, s'adresse Manance, marche arrière.
Archie le ferai donc. Appuyez vos Versailles. Archers.
Legion! Envouez vers notre porte, Jen Stars!
Oh, come on.
Ati! Compagnon! Job temper, Raoul Sadvids! Comme vos placed! Chasse envouez vers notre porte, Jen Stars!
Oyez, tous lors devant nos allez.
Aubelestre, Achetsmetsvos.
Legion! Moult avance, fouet à trait!
Besoin 800 couillis.
Compagnon! Mectons nos en la voie! Et comprens! Compagnon! Jen Stars! Nos de Quirpissons!
Yeah, I also sit on the wooden chair
Achesmetsvos Aubelestres.
for my whole life.
Achesmetsvos Abiamen. Vouer à Parmain.
But I'm used to it.
Chaskin sen sa place! Sifez vos commandements!
Jesus, this is pretty hard.
Achetsvas. Archers, job temper. Le ferai-je donc?
Advert, laissez-moi exploiter.
No more gold. There.
Allons, s'adresse tous. Lors batige s'estui.
Allons, ça, Trestus. Incontinentivege.
Legion! Nos en la voie!
Reste pour la besogne, Manance. Manance, pour vos servir.
Vos command West, Chaskuns, Jens d'Arms. Nos
Entière, archère, en avoué.
Compagnon, reste pour la besogne. Les Jens d'Arms, vos tiers.
The French defense of their capital held firm, wearing down the English invaders one by one.
Okay.
Compagnon, envoyez vers notre pas.
Advertance, tout le monde. Tous à l'oreille.
Campaign. Allons, ça part main. Ça, compagnon. En attaque.
Oyez, tout le monde. Giovanni Basti.
Compagnon, mettons nos en la voie.
Oyez, les ordonnances.
Oh, yes,
En besogne.
Acest vos.
Oyez, cher Poetestos. À votre commandement. Advertance, tout le monde.
Chaskuns, Compagnon,
Archère, guerre, affamé. Obéis au commandement. Archère! Archère, obéis au commandement. Archère! Chacun ses batailles.
The ruthless English army began burning the great Parisian landmarks. The French were running out of time to expel the enemy from their city.
Archère! Archère, Archère!
Yeah, it's not so easy. Would have been easier.
En besogne.
Attestet vos, Archère! On décrète, Archère!
Les Jens d'Armes, vos tiers.
L'heure est bonne, je commande.
Yeah, it was saving. And it's lagging.
Oyez, tout le monde! Tous de y là.
Besogne, manance. En domine.
Archère, Archère, allons, primo!
Archer,
Compagnon,
baguette.
mettons nos en la voie. Comme vos plaisent.
Archère, on déguerpit! Archère! Archère! En avant!
Bien.
Un coup de trespass pour des Spartiates. C'est comme le volet.
Prest allons, ça tresse tous. Si vais exploitieurs. Attendez les commandements, manance. À votre commandement. J'exploite les réparements.
Archère, les commandements viennent. Archère, Smesvos!
Compagnon, reste pour la besogne.
Manancy comme volette. Reste pour la...
Archère, mettons-nous à la voie! Gabriellement! Archère, prenez vos arcs! Archère, oyez commandement!
Compagnon, si fait, vos Chaskuns, en sa...
Archère, les commandements viennent! Archère, demeure à exquence! Archère, Archère, allons primo!
À la somme, chevalier, je puis vous sauter.
Oh shit.
À la somme, chevalier.
Les Jens d'Armes, vos tiers. Compagnon.
Feici, mettons-nous sur la voie.
Compagnon. Moult avance, oui, à trait.
Nous sommes prêts.
Que faut-il donc? Manan, la cette mois exploité. Lors se bâtit de cette crise.
Chasse et compresse.
Oil, Mestière de Mouet. Giovanni Bastir.
Le temps de la pensière, mes seigneurs.
I think I can do it.
The enemy grew ever more desperate as their ranks
some
thinned and their hopes of victory faded.
Knights.
Oil, Mestière de Mouet.
Oi.
Je vais raparier ce manoir.
And I need...
Que faut-il donc besoigner?
À la sorte, je suis votre serveur.
I need more
Oh, me fa au trail.
bolts.
Non, stialo.
And I need music. Oh,
Reste tous à l'arsenal, chevalier.
got an idea.
Sommes ridet set.
J'obtempère.
Reste tous, cesse le temps d'advance.
Archer, voyez Skogware à Parmain.
Sommes en avant, mes seigneurs.
I just let them come in. Why not?
Chascune, moult avance, oui, à trait.
Archer, si, comme le valet. Archer, allons brimant.
À l'arson, chevalier. Ayez la saute, chevalier. Obéir, mon destruyer.
Archer, les commandements viennent. Ne demeurez point slat Foucault.
Dicte-moi. Chascune, oui,
En votre service. C'est comme vos ordres.
je préfère à haute service.
Archer,
Nous sommes prêts. Pointe de merci par l'ennemi.
Where's my music?
Archer, le ferai-je donc?
Compagnon, oui, destin, mort.
Dites-moi, Archer. Archer, chacune s'ayette voix valoir. Taillette. Archer, Spetsvos,
Compagnon, destin.
Tous sommes prêts.
Archer, le ferai-je donc? Archer, sire. Se demeure point slat Foucault.
Chevalier, en votre service.
Archer, Spetsvos, Archer.
Sommes vite confidents.
Oh boy.
La demi Archer, à coup Spetsvos, portes partir. Archer, j'obtempère. Archer, mettons tous à la voie. Bien brillement. Rejoignez à faire. Oyez, Feici, commandement. Archer, prenez vos armes. Admissez votre Versailles, Archer.
Compagnon, reste qu'on a besoin.
Reste
Success. Avance.
Besoin.
Alerte. Lance devant sur le salaire. Guide archer.
Sturmes und Ordnance. Sie kommt was Voldreis.
Hold. Oh shit.
Chevalier, reste.
Acest archer en archer. On déguerpit archer. Si comme le volets. Archer. Chacun ses Versailles. On déguerpit.
I don't have any food left. Where's my market?
Archer, archer, archers. Prenez vos arcs. Obéis au commandement. On déguerpit archer. Archers, de demeurez Squenslas Sukhoi. Le ferai-je donc?
À la avance, mes seigneurs.
I think I got it.
Commandement. Make them snuff and la way.
Archers, archers, en la way.
Not pretty clean, but
Compagnon.
we don't need clean, we just need a win.
Archers, archers, allons prima. Archers, en la way.
Compagnon, obtempere obsavit. Jetstar.
Archers, here.
Alles Frieden sind von Ordre.
Besoin. Si comme volets.
Je vous amène mes riens.
Oyez tous le monde. Lors battige s'estui.
Chevalier, obéis. Avance, mes seigneurs.
Yeah,
Mes seigneurs.
Archers,
we did it.
déguerpit archers.
Defeated and demoralized by the strength of the French defense, the Black Prince's army abandoned their siege of the capital. Paris celebrated victory, but this was not the last test the French would face in their struggle to win the war.
That was pretty close, but we did it. We did it, Dora.
The battlefields of the 100 Years' War were full of danger. To defend against these weapons,
Danger.
a new type of armor was developed. Plate armor.
Plate armor clad the knight in an articulating exoskeleton of hardened steel. A hard outer shell that still flexes and moves with the body.
It provided impressive protection and was an extraordinary technological achievement.
Now, one of the ways that armor gets its strength is through shape. Both of these pieces are made out the exact same thickness as steel, but I can show you there's one stronger than the other. Here's the one with no shape. You see it buckles immediately. If I swap it for one that's been forged to have strength and shape, you can see it's much stronger. It's going nowhere.
It wasn't just the shape that gave it strength. It was also how the metal was treated by the armorer.
Now, the benefits of using heat is it obviously makes the piece more plastic, more ductile, lets me shape it. but the fuel also adds layers of carbon into the outer surface. This helps me increase the hardness and strength of the material.
The art of the armorer was being able to judge the temperature of the metal by eye, managing the heat to create resilience in the metal. The combination of heat-treated metal and rigid shapes meant that armor didn't need to be so thick and heavy, making it much easier to fight in. But good quality plate armor did have its downside. It was very expensive.
Now, not everyone could afford full steel plate armor. For the common man, there is the brigandine. Now, these are made up of overlapping steel plates that are then riveted through a textile outer. This gives you a much bigger range of movement, but is limited and is not as strong as a full steel breastplate. That said, it is much cheaper and much easier to maintain.
At its best, the armored knight was invincible. But armor didn't just provide defense. It was also a weapon and an expression of a knight's power and prestige. Armor transformed its wearer into a work of art.
Not bad. Oh, we already seen that. Okay, for now I think that's it for today. Vielen Dank fürs Zuschauen. See you tomorrow.